We're live. We're live, my family. Gather on in. We're going to be channeling some benevolent sources of spirit today. Ooh. He's got the Palo Santo. He's got that just in case if any shadow elements want to get feisty. You go boom, 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 little holy wood. Give him the... Yeah, see? Did you make it, Josie? You made it. How's everybody doing? Do I share about the astrological forces? Is that part of the Galactic upgrade? Even though I'm going to have to make another video about it and quite possibly an entire course because it's so massive. Yeah, we do it. Swab the deck. Let's go. All right. Let's clear this. From last time. And do a little drawing. Here we go for drawing these again. All righty. Here we go. Here is your Galactic update. All right. So this has been coming through a lot. And I know why now. Not that I didn't know why before. So some of the patrons have already seen this. But I've got more. Got more information. North, south, east, and west. All right. So this is what has been taking place. By the way, oh my God, are you noticing all the dream time? Are you seeing extra spirit activity in your periphery and straight on? The veil is incredibly thin right now, my family. So just know, in whichever ways that you're testing yourself, the tests are you testing yourself. That's what the daily was today. I even got the opportunity to give this guy his money. He's running away from the self-checkout thing, and I hear it just going jigga, 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 jigga as he's leaving the store. And I'm like, sir, and I ran after him and gave him his money. So it was it's interesting when you're watching the daily readings, and then when you're keeping track on what spirit is letting you know is happening. So just so there's no glare. Okay, a little bit of glare, but it's a beautiful bluish hue. Carrie, are you here for the bluish hue? This is serious. This is a serious channel. Okay, so north, south, east, and west. Any significance to the Ides of March melody popper on the screen? Absolutely. There's been this incredibly traumatic window that I would see reflected every year from Valentine's Day to the Ides of March. And we did it. This was of course, challenges came up and things came up, but this was a good one. This was very much so a good one. So yeah, whatever that thing is with Caesar, it looks like we healed that as a collective. So all right, so back into this. Okay, so when we are born right here. We are born at north. We are born as our zodiac sign. We're going to use zodiac signs as the example right here. So I'm just going to use mine just to do this a little bit faster. Okay. All right. And then the east would be... I'm starting to get really good at drawing these little meteors. Okay. So when we are born basically in the premise of starting the entire wheel, becoming the wheel itself. because this is us. You know, there's the fire. So I'm born in Leo. So here we go with the fire right here. You know, once I go and I start like ascending enough, as we ascend, we get in touch with what's known as the I am presence. Coming in touch with the I am presence is what is going to reveal our shadow. You can look at the shadow as the beast within. You can look at the shadow as your opposing zodiac sign. So if this is Leo, cutting the wheel in half, I would have my shadow being Aquarius. Okay, so this is like something that was taking place for a very long time. And getting in touch with the shadow was difficult enough as it was. But then getting in touch with these new aspects of the self, because basically what takes place is, you know, once this has been manifested enough and this comes to balance, okay? God, it's so hard when your hand's moving backwards on the camera. Once this has come to balance, okay, this is what's taking place. All right, so this pen is not balanced, but say this is balanced like this. Okay, so I'm doing this. I'm the Leo. So the Leo would be like this. The Leo would be like this. I find the shadow. There's something that's like intangible. I get in touch with the I am presence, and then this starts to happen. I'm going through all these shifts. I'm going through all these changes, and there's this wobbling effect. Once there's this mastery of this polarity of who is the self, this is you, this is me here in this example. What happens is once this becomes balanced for a long enough period of time, all of the weight is on the fulcrum of the self. Okay. So this is so balanced that what happens is, okay, this then activates, this polarity of the self activates. And what's fascinating about this and why this is like so fitting with the tarot is this is what is drawn on the wheel card. Okay, this is what is taking place on the world card. We can actually see this in all four quadrants because the eagle at the top is actually what Scorpio used to be. If you do some research, Scorpio used to be known as eagle. Okay, so we see it right there as the completion to basically open this portal. We're seeing another circle. We're seeing the circle of completion right there. But to look at this in the wheel, where's the wheel card? Because this is in both parts. This is at card 10. Come on, wheel. Where are you hiding? Are you the first card in the deck here? Here we go. When we get to the wheel, we see this again here because this is how we're actually able to. They're like not that part yet. This is how we're able to actually activate this entire divine cross, and this is why for so many astrological readings are off for you because the astrological reading is being read as you're just here. It's being read as if you're almost as if you're a novice and you've just started. If you're being read from this zodiac sign of where you're born, because we're born into this sign and then we're casting the shadow, and it's up to us to want to get into this line of work to basically walk through walk through the keyhole, so to speak. We take a glance through the keyhole. We decide to start walking down this path. Walking down the path then activates the potentiality for balance. The potentiality for balance and then holding those balance fields through all of the shifts we've made through unconditional love, through grounding our energy, compassion, acceptance, truth. That was a major one in 2022. These basically activate these two other zodiac signs. So we're then able to activate all four elements. All four elements are activated within the self because it doesn't matter what sign you have here. You're going to have the opposite sign here of the same like. These are both masculine and these are both feminine because we have the water and then we have this earth substance. So these are the feminine counterparts and these are the masculine, and then we're going to have one that is the more feminine of the masculine and one that is the more masculine of the feminine. Okay, that comes through. So it basically starts to make this almost hourglass shape. Okay, because of what's taking place. And then that happening has this happen just like this. And now we've activated all four quadrants. When we activate the 4 with this whole 3, 6, 9 thing going on, we have the 4 times the 3 is the entire wheel. This is us getting in touch with being the entire wheel. This is us getting in touch with all of the elements to become the whole, to become the fractalization process that was started by God. I'm going to use the term very, very loosely here, through the fractalization process of this going from Uranus to Saturn to Jupiter, Jupiter being Zeus, Zeus then fractalizing his children into the 12, even though this was done with the Titans. Obviously, we had the 12 Titans, then we have the 12 archetypal frequencies. These 12 archetypal frequencies being fractaled and then thrown into the game. It's basically like, how long will it take them to realize as that one very powerful archetype of the all, that they are all 12 signs. So looking at this and just being able to activate this has been very, very empowering. This to me is the process of how we actually create the conduit, which is powerful enough to, this is okay, this part's okay, right? Yep. To activate what is our highest self, to have our highest self have the grounds here, to have the frequency and the pillar of light be large enough to be able to access the root chakra of this big red circle that is over some of our heads, if you've done the work to activate and align all of the chakra. Okay, so activating and aligning all of these chakra then is basically creating the bigger torus, the bigger torsion field to send the light up, because all of this light is actually, these are all spirals. This is all done with spirals. So to have the bigger wheel, this part's okay too, right? Yep. Okay, so to have the wheel, this is just like how the chakra were. The chakra were like this when we found them, but then doing this whole boom, inserting the discus. By inserting the disc and basically doing the work to then flip the chakras on their sides, how they either were or how they belong, this is what's basically making this holographic light field, to have the light going up as we're traveling through time and to activate the true essence of the self. Okay. Yeah, because this basically is the self cubed. Okay. This is basically how we get ourselves into the formality of the Platonic solids, because, all right. So when this happens, okay, now we're going to actually go into some math here. You know, what is the fourth dimensional axis, AXIS, axis like Ganesha, axis having the access to the root to get through the gateway, to get through the doorway, to have the axis of the access. Okay, so basically, now we were talking about this balancing to activate this. So this balance to activate this. When this balances, what's going to happen here? There's only one more polarity that's left, and that's this one. That's the forward and back. When the forward and back is activated, okay, yeah, he talks about this stuff live. When the forward and back is activated, so the wheel is like this, as I'm showing you here. So I'm standing upright, casting my shadow on the ground. So the shadow's going straight down, and then the light version's going straight up. Straight is contradictory, because everything is actually spiraling, because everything already is spiraling in this entire cosmos. That's why gravity works. So to activate the wheel and have it spinning this way, just like the chakra, then whoop, boom, the wheel can come in to then have this polarity, as I was saying, boom, 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 to then go drop it, bam, boom. And now the entire wheel is now this massive conduit, which is strong enough to be able to access and hit through all of these chakras, because they are massive. So to activate the full entire wheel of the cosmic self, of the galactic self, of the completion of us as these little g or big G gods here in the physical. Thank you very much for being here today. Yes, he talks about this live. So basically, this is why this was all inevitable. This entire process was inevitable, and this is also why this process got more difficult, not easier. Like when I got into this, at least, everything was like fun, and it was like, oh my God, the feminine, the lucidity, the meditations, the dream time, the third eye activation. Like there were obviously challenges and traumas, but there was this like, I'm not alone anymore. Being able to see and access these versions of myself, spirit guides, all of this. It was very, very fun until I was told I had to do this. Until I was told it's time to activate the shadow. It's time to activate all the aspects of the masculine, your dark masculine and your basically your dark feminine and the balanced feminine, which the divine feminine, which I didn't even know I was doing yet. But by starting this process, activating these two, by activating the other two, which is what I was getting to, this is why it became more challenging. You know, there's a saying in numerology, and it's master numbers have master problems, because, and this is why. Let's say, like, you know, and like some people go like, oh, I wish I had a master number. Let's look at the number 33 for a second. So the number 33, they have a 3, they have a 3, they have the 33, and then they have the 3 plus the 3 being the 6. So yes, this is a lot of power because they have the 3 represented once, they have the 3 represented a second time, they have the 33 represented once, and then they have a 6 represented. So why these are called master numbers is because all of the goodies that are connected to the 3 that are then amplified by a second 3 that are then now accessing this number 33 and getting all of those goodies, and then getting the goodies from the 6, this nurturing feminine element. Those also always have this shadow effect. Every single thing, whatever number you look at, there's highlights and there's lowlights, so to speak. So when we have all of these things, we're basically having more powers and more ascension, more metaphysical power, more God sense and I am presence that comes in with each. But by me going, boom, Leo, balancing Leo, finding Aquarius, balancing Aquarius, and then getting to do this with basically Taurus and Scorpio, being born on any of the fixed signs means you have the wheel that we were just looking at here. Not that it's like everybody has their own archetypal function, whether this is Virgo or Capricorn or whatever sign you are, all of the signs are going to be represented in this wheel by activating this wheel and doing this work. This is why it was like, are we done yet? Like, why is it getting more challenging instead of less challenging? And this is when this is coming to a head, so to speak, because now it's like I can't, honestly, I don't even have, this just happened yesterday. This literally just happened yesterday where, like to the point where like I'm knocking over water cups. Like like there's definitely like a dizzying experience that's taking place. I had goosebumps that just weren't even leaving my body yesterday. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying that this is what's coming for all of us. This is basically a more, as complicated as this might be to understand right now for some, this is the why. I wanted to give you a why of what's actually taking place, because now you can actually look at the opposing astrological signs. You can look at the archetypal gods and starseed lineages that are connected to these other 3 signs of yourself to see what it is that you're balancing, to see what it is that you came here to do. So this is basically, I wanted to explain to you the why we're able to access in this present or in this future moment, this big, gigantic version of the self, because as we came in here with this extreme, okay, so the chakras are going like this, and by activating the chakras, it was like, boop, like this light went off, this very like grateful for the light, the powerful light. But this light goes up that then starts activating the chakras above the chakras, okay? Because the 7th chakra, the 8th chakra, all these like the soul stars, all of these downloads, upgrades, and challenges that came from activating those aspects of the self, then basically to get to this point, to boom, boom, to truly drop in the wheel, to start to be able to send up this holographic channel, which is just massive. And to have that pin go to this, as massive as it is, this pin, that is what's accessing this gigantic version of you. Like this is bigger than any higher self. This is the highest. This is that cosmic galactic entity that is you, you beautiful person watching from home. Thank you for being here. Yes, Veronique says, yes, we're in a spiral universe, just like Andromeda. All of the universes are spiraling. All of light is spiraling. You know, what have I explained when I'm telling you how to manifest at a higher degree? To manifest at the highest degree that I was taught. I don't manifest here, because if I manifest here in this present moment, we've already left where I was. Like we've already like spun, like the planet is traveling, the sun's dragging the planet, something's dragging the sun, everything is moving. So to be able to manifest, and if you don't know exactly where that's going to be, that's fine. But to basically use these metaphysics, use these quantum mathematics to actually manifest a big gigantic cloud of where the manifestation will come to a completion, where the planet is going to end up, in the time frame of how long it takes us to activate and manifest that thing based upon our own belief structures, okay? Because these are the belief structures that come in. It's like when somebody asks you, there might be something that you've been attempting to do for 6 years, and the reason why it hasn't happened is because you've been attempting to do it. So instead of attempting to do the thing, truly tuning in on your cell structure, asking your heart, asking your body, okay, once and for all here, well, how long is it going to take me to fully activate my third eye? Whatever the thing is that you're doing, to find love, to create abundance, to see abundance, to be able to have the abundance to share with my tribe, to X, Y, or Z, and create heaven on earth. How long is this going to take? Based upon our belief structures, when we get that time frame and we use that time frame now with conviction, this will be done in 6 hours, 6 weeks, 6 days, 6 years. It doesn't matter what the time frame is based upon your belief structure. By you getting your belief structure, speaking it with conviction, and having an end time, that thing has to manifest. That thing now has to manifest. No big deal. 2207. We're going to get into the pick a skull. Okay. He's got his hot platter. Here we go. Sorry. All righty. Here you go. So, what are we doing here today? Okay, so the white skull that's in the center of the camera right now, this is for Polaris. This is the guiding light. This is the North Star. We have the second skull right here, which is Angel Aura, which is for the Pleiadian aspect, or your guardian angel, however you want to look at it. This gold skull right here is, that's the Ascension stone right there. We've got Champagne Aura and Angel Aura on this quartz stone. And then we have Terahertz, okay? So what we're looking at right here is Polaris, the North Star, okay? And then we've got the Pleiades, your guardian angel, like, you know, however you want to look at this. And then we have right here, we have Arcturus wanted to come through. Again, Arcturus loves coming through. And then right here, last, but very much so not least, we have, for the first time ever, that I believe, I don't recall this coming through, we have the Hyadian Council coming through today. So another way that you can look at this is based upon the chakras, because this is how the download first started to come through with what skulls, and what a beautiful color spectrum we have here today as well. On basically what's going on here. So this is also another way you can look at this. This is the 7th chakra. This is just outside of the body. So these are all the chakras outside of the body. In order, we have the 8th chakra right here. Okay, and then obviously we have 9, and then we have the 10th chakra. Okay, so this is this activation of this access, depending on which one you've picked, to different levels of the Akasha, different levels and different jobs and subsects of the Akashic records. Okay, so bubbly. Any questions before he starts? Based upon the skulls or these starseed lineages, I think the only questions that could come through is who are the Hyadians? The Hyadians are the ones from Beta Centauri. These are actually the ones that were viewed as, you know, these far out gods, far out, man. Basically, these ancient gods that were here during the time frame of Taurus. These, that Beta Centauri. This is this connected to Taurus, and this is this element of the bull. This is this element of the, and just my camera's just apparently possessed. I didn't touch anything. You guys saw that. I guess that's spirit saying to just get into it. This is what I'm talking about. The veil is incredibly thin right now. 2 buttons must have been hit to have that happen, because I got to add the camera, and it changed which camera I had it on. Either way, Ram, thank you, buddy. Something might be a little triggered that we're bringing through these very, very benevolent, very, very loving aspects, which have been painted in ways as if they're locked up in Tartarus. They're very evil. They're naughty things. These beings are the reason that many of you goddesses that are watching this broadcast are so in love with the Hathor frequency over the Isis frequency, because the Hathor frequency is also connected to the cow. It's also connected to the bull. It's also connected to the mother among all mothers. And many, many powerful frequencies could be coming through that reading. So pick your skull. I'll give you one more look. Okay. Always go with what came through to you first. Don't be like, well, I'm a Taurus and he said that, and I already picked number. Pick the one that you picked first. But if you're really feeling like you want to switch, these might be reversed on the screen. Number 1 is the white, and number 4 is this crazy color silver. And without further ado, we're going to write down the time. And we're going to get right on into the Polaris channel. Move these markers. Yes, he said markers, not mockers. And the time is 26:57. And this will be 7th Polaris. So the beings of Polaris are the ones that are in the brightest star, which is the North Star, which is the constellation of the Big Bear, or better known as the Big Dipper. Okay, so let's kick off these shoes. Far out, Brussels sprout. Oh my God, I've been obsessed with all the, those veggies have been coming through very, very strong. It's been like cauliflower, cabbage, or Brussels sprouts every day. All the cruciferous? I think that's what it's called. So very, very synchronistic there, Annabelle. Welcome, sister. Where are you guys coming in from? Before he changes gears and he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Let's get it ready. Ursa Major. Is that what I said? What did I say? Did I say minor? Ursa Major. Yes. Acaretto. All right. Pop up the other camera. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know what that means, Veronique. Belgian and Davies? And I can't pronounce that. I'm not going to try. Oh. All right. It's time for him to switch gears. All right. All of these channels that come in are coming in from and only from the highest orders of benevolence, in the highest order of the I Am Presence. I am opening up to being the speaker box and the microphone for these benevolent starseed lineages and any and all benevolent frequencies that are archetypally connected to the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th chakra during this time. Thank you so much. God. Here we go. Okay. Oof. I'll put that there so we can see it. I'll put that there so we can see it. This is once again what Alexander was already just talking about is coming through the cards again. So if you skipped ahead to the skull that you picked, you might want to watch the Galactic update. There might be a gem there for you, because the cloud cover is talking about the balance of basically both aspects of light and night. This is what's activating this Merkaba right here. That's what's activating the chariot, the vehicle. This is what's been coming through in all the daily readings about us passing tests to basically get a license and to get connection source, and basically the ability to get the bigger license to the bigger vehicle of light. So the cup is flowing over. The cup has been flowing over because this is the past. So the past, according to Polarian Council right now, is talking about how the cup is flowing over. The cup is flowing over with this metaphysical masculine fire. It's the masculine that protects the walls of the container, so the feminine energy can overflow out of the cup. Keeping in mind, we have the biggest cup right here. Boom, boom. Like whenever like these alignments take place like this, Spirit always wants us to look at this, because like, look at that, what we see taking place right here. She's the one holding this cup energetically. So we have the masculine and then we have the feminine multi-dimensional aspect. That is the one that is telling us, like, you've made it, you've done it. Like a party is an order. Okay. So a party is an order for all of the work that you've done, because we have another card right here which represents marriage. This card that represents marriage in the physical. There's an abundance. There's an abundance and there's a bounty of this marriage. So it's like, what are we going to do with this like new vehicle, this new balanced self? I've never even seen this like this, but I'm looking at that. It's almost like the spotlight is on you. So like, this is us as the Rebus. Anybody who picks skull number 1, this is Spirit asking you, being drawn to this skull, what is it that you want to do with all of this new balance? What is it that you want to do with this harvest? For sure, like I said, like Spirit wants you to know, some sort of party is in order. We've made it. We've got somewhere. We've got somewhere that it was like kind of like prophesized humanity would eventually make it to where we've made it to. But what we've done was not easy. So looking at what we've done and we have completed, regardless of what it looks like out the window, being positive, being grateful on this new beginning. The message from other dimensional versions is coming through as the Fool card. So we're seeing this new beginning. And, it's like, once again, my attention's on this flower. I'm getting my like basically Spirit lights up certain areas of the card that I'm supposed to look at. I was looking at this, like basically the spotlight's on you. The spotlight's on you to see what you do next. It's like, even if this is just, not a party and you don't actually have a party with everybody that's like your metaphysical friends, having something that you do for yourself to party in that manner, like do something nice for yourself, get something for yourself, rest. For some of you, this has definitely been a week of rest for me, to allow all of these massive frequencies to come through. It's like basically in 3 weeks, it's the first time I took some time off, which wasn't really time off. There was a lot of writing and a lot of more spiritual embodiments and integrations. So you've done something wonderful, my family. You picked the skull, you made it here, you've balanced something very, very massive. Your crown chakra must be active for you to have done this, picking the 7th chakra as well. And this is that crown. This is that royalty. Looking at this crown right here as well, like this is something you've done. You've activated the crown, because that's the flower. We have the flower up here, and then we have the flower down here. And that's why this Taurus shape begins. By activating and continuing this process, the flower and the Taurus just keeps getting bigger, because the crown keeps moving upwards. The chakra that's tipped on its sides and going out and in. Okay, this is why the field keeps getting bigger. Now our fields are so massive when we, do what I was talking about in the Galactic update. There's no room left in this galaxy. If it's not in the state of love in light, if it is not in the highest orders of benevolence, my family, we've made it. We've done it. We're there. Because how could anything that is pure shadow exist in this light? Anything that is here in this present moment needs to accept the fact that they need to basically be incinerated by light or leave, or they're basically going through some sort of transmutation process of accepting what they did, stepping into the truth, stepping into this multidimensional process, which we've done. This card represents multidimensionality, looking into the future, looking into the presence. Like I said, we see that the entire chariot is here. You're in this new body. You're in this new place. That's what these Mandela effects are. That's what we've been seeing. That's the shifts. That's why life has changed so much from where you were to where you are right now. You've done a lot of work to feel safe. Please know you're safe. Believe you're safe. To truly be in this aspect that you're like some of you are coming into and popping out of from time to time. Some of you are just holding this frequency to stay in that frequency. The vibration that's popping you out from time to time is a lack of safety from past lifetimes, where what took place in those lifetimes cannot and will not. It's not able to repeat itself in this lifetime. And there are examples all around you that we are safe to speak the truth, to live in our truth, to be in our truth, to be in our power. And more power and more loving, benevolent energy is just going to help everybody around us, whether they're a stranger or not. Thank you so much. There we go. All right. I'll clear this first. Oof. Boy, is that pretty. Okay. Okay. Ooh, let me write the time down. 38:22. We'll take it. All right. So the Pleiades, 8th chakra, the Pleiadian Council, your guardian angel, all the angelics out there. I wouldn't be surprised if you picked the skull. Wow. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the cloud cover right there is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords reminds us of things that hurt us in the past, people that hurt us in the past, aspects that hurt us in the past, archetypal frequencies that did things very, very quickly. This is talking about how something has already taken place. Many of us have seen this. Many of us have seen this in our own way. I'm not really quite sure if I've talked about this live before, but here we go. What's taking place quite often is these near-death experiences. These things take place that people are like, how did you survive that? How could you have survived that? There is something that you survived that was this whole, like, I was saved by the angels, but the reality that you were in, that was your exit point to get into this ascended reality. This has happened multiple times for many of you. This is what was necessary to take place to basically get out of these frequencies where there was control. There was control by the ones that hurt you. The ones that were controlling are now, they're all basically, like I was saying, they're balanced. There is no way that they can continue to exist here without stepping into and doing the work. Anybody who was an enemy, anybody who was this, anybody that was this or that, life is going to be very difficult for them if they're not living in truth, if they're choosing to be outside of truth is a better way to say that, if they're choosing to still hurt innocents and hurt others. These people are being exposed and they will continue to be exposed. Anything that has to do with the worst crime against humanity that's possible, which is destruction of innocence, plain and simple, because nothing can actually be destroyed. Energy exists, energy cannot be destroyed, so it is just moved, it is transmutated, it is transmogrified from one form to another. So as things are going from one form to another, there are aspects and there are belief structures and there are aspects of you that picked skull number 2. There are aspects that make you a more powerful angelic, that make you a more powerful wizard, that make you a more powerful, whatever the title is that you'd like to insert there, being the all that is the all. There are things that came in so you would get to the place of asking why. By asking why, this brought in an ascension process. By going through the ascension process, the old version had to cease to exist for this new version to come into this new reality. Once again, I said it in the last reading, this is where these Mandela effects came in for you. Whether these are Mandela effects that you created or these are Mandela effects that the entire population was paying attention to, these Mandela effects got you in touch to be able to get out of these levels of control, because the control was something that you were allowing. It was necessary. You did nothing wrong. The control had to be there until you shifted realities. Certain aspects of fear, certain aspects of control could still be existing that cannot and will not ever serve you again. We've made it. We've done it. We now have this, like, we are in like this, like, it's not a house of cards. It's like a house of magic wands. Like, we have the Ace of Wands right here, and the message from other dimensional versions is the Ace of Pentacles. What comes through to you when you step into this level of worthiness, of knowing that you are uncontrollable at this point, and you trust yourself with whatever it is that took place before? You are in a new reality. We're once again seeing that, you know, a party is in order for what you've done. But for you to truly celebrate, it would be best to celebrate after doing whatever this is that's coming up. If you don't know exactly what it is right now, tune in, drop your own oracle cards, use your pendulum, dream on it, ask spirit to tell you what the thing is that needs to be balanced. I see that the great majority of upwards of 85% of you know exactly what the thing is. If something came in and then your brain tried to tell you, no, that's not it, it is exactly that first thing that came in. Doing that thing and releasing that control over yourself then puts you into this state of this higher worthiness, which isn't even scratching the surface of the worthiness that you deserve to know that you are, and to receive more and more and more as we become more and more powerful in this reality. Pleiadian Council would like to communicate. Certain things were inserted into the reality to have people being scared of them. One of those frequencies is a very angelic frequency, which is known as the Phoenix. The Phoenix is an ascended form of the dragon. This is something that actually takes place under the ground. This is some form of the self, form of the shadow. Many people that are in the line of work of who and what they are afraid of creating karma, when karma cannot be created by working on the self, by moving and casting a spell that has to do with and only with the highest orders of benevolence. If your aspects and your shadow lineages or anything that is a shadow aspect of yourself, versions of you that made mistakes in the past, are looking to move into a more powerful version, this is this process taking place of us going from the human to the angel to the archangel and becoming the seraphim, the serpent of fire. You are in this path right now. You are the Phoenix. You are this firebird. You are these high angelics. You are the ones that are stepping into these modalities of becoming like Metatron. Enoch, the human, is the one who ascended to become Metatron. It was Sandalphon, the brother of Metatron, who also ascended, his brother, in the stories, in the story arcs. These story arcs were left here for you and were attempted to be hidden from humanity to delay this process, which had to be delayed. Let's once again remember that this death couldn't take place safely, of us stepping into the willpower and stepping into the worthiness which you deserve and need to allow yourself to be in now. This wouldn't have been possible in the 80s or maybe the early 90s or maybe even the early 2000s. There were things that needed to take place for you to actually be safe, and you actually are safe. Please internalize and realize that. Can I get an aho in the chat? Oof. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? No, they're happy. Okay. Alrighty. Skull number 3. It looks quite a little bit boring on here, but I promise you there's rainbows all over this. How do I get the rainbows to show up? The rainbows just aren't wanting to show up on the camera. Okay. 4830. This is the 9th chakra. And this is Arcturus. The fam! Little dance for the Arcturians. Mad props. Not mad props. Massive gratitude for the Arcturians that created hip-hop and poetry in their galaxy and made sure that those drums, those bass, and that fight-flight mentality made it here to this planet. Thank you. From Alexander. From my heart to yours in the highest orders of benevolence. Okay. The color royal blue is coming through as well. I know you're looking at gold, but the color royal blue is coming through as well. If you pick skull number 3, deck's already been cleared then. I knew it. Oof. It's time. It's time, skull number 3 pickers. My God, the 9th chakra. Okay. Actors in the house. Right there, there's Egypt on top of it. The rhyming style came from Arcturus, but got left in Egypt as darkness flourished. Came back quickly as the b-boy spins. Alien incarnate, Nimoy wins. That was the song that I channeled in 2015 from Spirit. That is how I actually learned that hip-hop came from Arcturus. So yeah, very, very interesting stuff. And then to speak about poetry, to speak about writing, and to get the card that represents schooling, the card that represents writing, the card that represents Egypt, the card that represents teaching and poetry and lyricism as a whole. I can already, just by seeing this, know that your process and your traumas of what took place in the past, because let's look at this in order here. Moving forward while looking backwards, moving forward and looking at this hurt. This hurt was multidimensional. This hurt was to multiple bodies. This hurt was from the old patriarchy, which is at the bottom of the deck. So what took place that was your ascension process that hurt you is what got you, that picked skull number 3, to move into this as this paladin. You're here as the page of wands in the physical, but you're energetically the paladin. Was this yesterday's reading? Yeah, yesterday's reading was just talking about this, how we can go onto the battlefield of life, and yes, we have the ability and we have the magic wand to cast a fireball, but this magic wand could also just keep healing everybody on the battlefield. Like what a comical, like heavenly purgatory that would be. People like fighting each other and they can't wound each other, and you just keep healing the field and shielding the people. This is what our magic can do. This is what your words can do. Whether or not you think like, oh, that's so similar to so-and-so, there's no point in me writing this, there's no point in me doing that. There is absolutely a point. It's called your life purpose. It's not only called your life purpose, it's also called your, as odd as it sounds, something that started to come through to Alexander, which is known as your legacy. I'd like to also like coin the phrase, the death purpose. When we leave this reality, leaving something that grants plain and simply immortality, by writing this book or this poetry or this music, creating music, whatever this thing is, this has to do with the arts, this has to do with the writing, this has to do with your connection to your trauma and speaking to others how you got to where you are, regardless of what form you do this in. Looking at the future, we see this power, the power of the fire and the magic from this old version of yourself, and what took place to hurt her, to hurt him, to hurt this aspect. This is all done. Yes, maybe you were hurt for protecting a book, for having knowledge, for knowing how to read, for dancing. Whatever this thing is, it's highly, highly probable that this patriarchy that has been controlling the planet for thousands of years hurt you over whatever it is, the thing that you're supposed to do. But Spirit, the original creator of your soul, the Arcturian Council, your own highest benevolent version and the highest order of benevolence, wants you to move into this and do it quickly. The example that I'd like to give is this, like this person knowing that they have to write a book, but always waiting to write the book. Maybe the book itself has to do with something where the people that the book is about are scary people. And, the writer is waiting for these people to be in pine boxes, so it's safe to actually talk about what's in the book, to expose these truths. He's not wanting to expose these people, so to speak. That's all well and good if we're going to wait to release the book, but Spirit is not allowing you to wait to start writing the book, so to speak. I'm using this as an example from my own life to share with you what Spirit wants you to know right now in this present moment. And that is your writing, your music, your beats, your poetry, your story, your blog, your video channel, your YouTube channel, your podcast, however it is you're safe, you setting time aside every week at a bare minimum every week, but there should be basically at least 20 minutes to an hour of every day. Maybe when you first wake up, maybe start waking up earlier, but having time to allow the highest orders of benevolence and your Arcturian higher selves and other dimensional versions to come through and granting access of your hand to that pen or to your hands on that keyboard and allowing these seraphic aspects to write through you in the highest order of benevolence and allow these things to come through. You're writing scripts, you're writing stories, you're writing poetry, you're living in your life purpose. Because if this is the next step in your life purpose to get you to your life purpose, this is something that has to begin at some point. So if your life purpose has to do with the abundance that comes in from this thing, how do we achieve life purpose while we're remembering who and what we are to the extent that we are in this present moment without further accessing the next step in the staircase? These stairs are so large, they cannot be skipped. So whatever this is, whether you do it for you, whether you do it for free, whether you do it for money, regardless of the reason why you do this thing, you're being asked to write. And thank you. We're done. They just mic dropped. If you pick skull number 3, it's time to write. This is the tip of the shovel. You being the tip of the shovel is you doing what this next thing is. This has to do with your next step, which the next step is the step. Anything that has to do with unveiling the life purpose, it doesn't matter what it is. It could even be comedy writing. It could be anything that could be coming through this. Anything that needs to be written out first. Spirit wants you to write, to start writing, to remember what writing means to you, to truly ask yourself, should you be writing on the computer or are you better with a pen and paper? Does the pen and paper not work for you? Should you be entering it into the computer? We're all different. Maybe it's time to go to Staples or whatever, go online and order that book to start doing the writing that you know that what I'm speaking of, or multiple books. This one's for this one's for my poetry, this one's for what I'm manifesting, this one's my planner where I put the Spirit wants you to write. I think he got that point across. Thank you. With pleasure. Skull number 4. The Hiding Council. I'm excited for this one. This is new. This is like I'm putting on like a new, oh God, it's like a green linen, but like it's all the greens. Yummy. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. And look, there I am. Hello. Hello there. How's everybody doing? Like, this is the way I broadcast from now on. You have to look at me in the skull. Turn me off. Okay. A little coffee. We're doing the work here. Let me write down the time so I can get this. Oh, just say we're just gonna say 1 hour even. So hopefully nobody has to see me just waving to them inside the skull. The 10th Hyadian Council. 1 hour, Veronique. The time is 1 hour. Here we go. Yeah, how do you know, Jen? How do you know he's like, even though he's balanced a lot, he's still a Leo. He's like looking at himself. He's like looking at himself in the skull. Hey, get out of here! Get out of here, other camera. No, oops, wrong button. Let's just get into it. I'm like so out of my body right now. More coffee. More coffee. That's what he needs. All right, here we go. Hydian Council. This is a lot of pressure. This feels like a lot of pressure. Okay, we're doing this. In the highest orders of benevolence. They're basically already communicating with me something that they're wanting you to know. The Hydian Council is basically the higher selves to the Andromedan Council. The beings that were on this Beta Centauri planet left this Beta Centauri planet when things shifted, in the same way that the Earth is moving 6 inches away from the sun every year. This is science. This is math. The same way that the Earth is leaving, interstellar travel is a necessity at some point, whether that's 1 billion or 1 trillion years from now. There will be a point where interstellar travel is a necessity. Even though life will continue to exist, reincarnation will still continue to be the wheel. And if life needs to continue somewhere else, it will, and it always will, because it cannot be destroyed. But looking at how we came from this planet to go to that planet, to go to that planet, this process is wanting to be known for you, that picked this aspect, of the 10th chakra, that picked this aspect of Hathor, of Beta Centauri, of Taurus, of the Taurian frequency of the Taurus itself, and what the Taurus is something that was being visualized as a bowl, when really it has these frequencies and these animals, if you will, that were related, do not even exist where the energy that is speaking through Alexander today comes from. Just to make that clear. Oh my God. All right. Oh my God. Hydian Council. Interesting, this theme. Those of you that picked skull number 4 have been working on all and every, through past, present, and future timelines, on the heart itself. What was necessary for you to work on the heart was for these traumas to take place. These traumas needed to take place. Picture them like making holes in an aquarium or making holes in a balloon, even though the balloon would not pop all at once. By letting these frequencies out, this allowed energy to fill up a certain area, a certain gravitational pull. And by allowing these energies to get out of the containment fields that they were in, this is why this needed to take place. This is why this had to happen. So you could get in touch with the true aspects and the energies and the potentialities of love. Anything that moves at the speed of light becomes light. The fact that this galaxy that you were sitting in, watching this transmission from, has transferred and moved 80,000 light years, which is a fact that many scientists and quantum physicists are talking about. You were born, most of you were born into this Gemini galaxy. The galaxy is no longer in Gemini. It is in the Sagittarius arm of the galaxy. That is 80,000 light years away. This is proof that this work, this magic, this is able to take place because 80,000 years have not gone by and you have traveled 80,000 light years away. Okay, so knowing this is the connection to time. If anything that moves at the speed of light becomes light, then therefore there must be something that is traveling faster than light itself. The frequency and the bandwidth that you can ride when the field is filled up to the extent of what you came here to fill it up for is love. Love is instantaneous. Love is already there. Love is the wave that is not a wave that you need to ride. Love is the frequency to instantly be there because you're already there when you've created a field, when you've created a container which is large enough to contain all of the planets, to contain all of the continents, to contain all of the cosmos in and of itself. The bigger the container is, the faster you're already there. This is what you came here to do, and this is why you wanted to be able to have access as the Time Lords that you are, to have access to the future and the past from the present moment. The present moment access was only granted by allowing these hurts and these traumas and this loneliness, being alone through this spiritual process. Whether or not there were other people around, there was a loneliness that was there. All of these things were compiling to get the energy out of the heart, to fill the container, to start the process, to have us going through these sadnesses and thought processes, to then get in touch with what we've gotten in touch with, which is now what you're wanting to be meditating upon. This is what got you in touch with the child. This is what got you in touch with the true magic. This is what got you in touch with the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and those two counterparts creating a child together. The 1 plus the 2 equals the 3. This is that Fibonacci spiral. This is that frequency of the golden mean ratio, which you have activated, knowing that what's going to come from it. What's going to come from it? What is the process? What's going to come from it? This has been such difficult work. Nobody told us this was going to be easy. Nobody told us it was going to be easy to be able to control time, while the others, the powers that have been controlling the planet and no longer are, mind you, remembering that you are the powers that be now. The powers that were did not want you to have access. This scares the heck out of them. This is you able to affect the future like that. This is you able to heal the past just like that. And to be able to see these things taking place, like jumping from one galaxy to another. We're still on the same spaceship. We're still on the same light ship called Gaia, but we're moving from one place to another. So looking at that probability and that constant that you are in control, and you're leaving these things here, these signs here, you're leaving these miracles here that many are looking at from fear. Oh, it's CERN, it's this thing, it's that thing, all of these things that are taking place, and people are looking at them like there's something negative. You're leaving these Mandela effects here to show you that you can go from one Gaia to another. You can go from one reality to another. You can go from one arm of the galaxy to another. You can go from one planet to another if that is what you choose to do to complete life purpose. You continuing and completing your life purpose has to do with you controlling time. All of you that chose skull number 4. Look at how similar this looks to Mercury. When we look at this frequency of Mercury, we're having something that is connected to the throat. It's connected to our truth. We're having something that is liquid but metal at the same time. This is and could be what is known as the fifth element, the ether. These things that are the frequencies that have to do with you becoming the most powerful version of yourself. The Chinese zodiac wheel, the Chinese elemental wheel rather, has 5 elements. Everything has been looked at as 4 elements. The number 4 is the only time that the number 4 comes through. God, this is so complicated. The only time that the number 4 comes through is in equals of the number 3. It's all about the Trinity in this reality. The example that goes perfectly right here is 4, 4, 4 equaling 12, 1 plus 2 being the 3. These are all the frequencies that are the spirals on how everything works, on how light works, on how time works, on how all of these frequencies are spiraling in and out of your galaxy, in and out of your body, in and out of your fields, and in and out of your future and past and present moment. Present moment being the place where through awareness and presence, you can access these other realities. You can access all realities and do the work that has seemed to be difficult, that no longer needs to be difficult. Trusting in the process, trusting in what you've created, trusting in whatever takes place. And Alexander is going to give you a story once this transmission is concluded to how we can pass a test, noticing the test and how to be in the proper energy of gratitude when something takes place. Something terrible takes place. You think something terrible takes place. We thank God for this frequency. We thank the original creator of our soul for this. Something good is coming from it, whether we can see it or not. Maybe it's the passing of a test. Maybe it's us getting the keys and the license to a bigger light vehicle. The tests that are coming up, trusting in whatever comes up, and instead of being in such doom and gloom and victim mentality is not going to be able to give you the keys to be trusted with manifesting and creating a future. You want to create the future, you need to do it from here. You want to be able to do it from here, you need to be in the appropriate frequency that you can be trusted with the keys and the creation modules that will create futures, because your future is not only your own. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that was going to be a lot more sweet. Not judging. Just saying. Thank you. Anything else? Mic drop. Oh my God. Whew. Okay. So, was it Saturday? Many of us had because of the solar flares, we had a challenge come up on Saturday to see if we were ready for the light bodies that we've stepped into, the vehicles that we've stepped into here and now. God, this is making me want to burp. Okay, I'm back. Many of us had some sort of challenge come up, whether it was in our love lives, whether it was in all these, anywhere that it could come up. It could come up at work. It could come up with a parent. It could have just been something silly with like what I dealt with. Basically, there was so much clothing in the washing machine that the washing machine bumped into the dryer. The washing machine shook the dryer. The dryer just slowly but surely got the brand new and full detergent to just fall off of the dryer onto the cap. Your brother's here to save the day if this ever happens to you. Put a little bit of water on top of it and just like mop it up with paper towels or towels. If you're out of paper towels like I was, because I ran out of paper towels, just moving the sludge. Like I was just like moving sludge in all directions. It was like unable to be picked up. But when I put a little bit of water on it and then I could like blot it up, that worked. But the laundry detergent went under the dryer. It went under the washer. It was a mess. It took me over an hour and a half to pick it up. And I could see how the old version of me would have reacted. The old version of me would have blamed whoever left the detergent on top of the dryer. The old version of me would have potentially been lazy. The old version of me would have been very, very angry. When I felt this anger coming in, when I felt this frequency coming in, I saw it hit the ground. I saw that there was a mess everywhere. And when I started to clean this mess up, when I started to work on this, I thanked God for it, plain and simply. That's what the Hyadians were wanting you to know. Just being in a state of gratitude Like, I don't know what I would have been doing, what I would have been thinking, where I would have been heading at that moment if I wasn't cleaning up this detergent, because I obviously couldn't leave it there because I had to get the wet stuff so it didn't get all moldy and weird into the dryer, and I can't just leave detergent all over the floor. So this was a test. These are the tests that I'm saying are coming up. This test might be coming through in a different way for you, depending on your patience, depending on what you've worked on, depending on where you are in this present moment. This is what I'm seeing. But the power, the true power that comes from taking away this whole, like, this card representing chaos. Where is it? This card. The thing's not even up anymore. Taking away this, regardless of what it is that happens, if we change the frequency and we change the dial to gratitude towards original creator of the soul, if I change the frequency to being in gratitude, thank you, and truly finding it, truly being in that frequency of thank you. I don't know why, but apparently I get to clean up detergent right now. Thank you for the detergent falling off of the dryer. Instead of being so upset on what's happening, what's taking place, why is it raining today? Why is this thing happening? Why is this person reacting this way? It is all reflections of you. It is all reflections of me. More and more every day, I'm seeing that every single challenge that's coming up, every single person that's acting a fool, every single thing that's coming, like even today, I had the option to just let this guy walk away and I could have stolen $60 from myself. I knew that wasn't the way. I knew I had to stop this guy and get him his money. Like, the thought didn't even cross my mind. I just hear the machine whirling and I go, this is weird. It sounds like it's about to spit out his change or his money. And then I see the cash back receipt come out. I'm like, sir. And he's like, he even like there was even this, like, not that there was a thought, but there was this, like, I had to run after him. Like, he was gone. He was in such a rush. Like I've been telling you guys, some people are in such a rush for so often that they don't even realize they're rushing when they don't need to be. So he gave me this opportunity for healing. This laundry detergent situation gave me the opportunity for healing, because by looking at why did this happen? Why did I spill the milk, so to speak? Instead of looking at it like, why did God do this to me? Why did these negative forces do this to me? Whatever the heck took place could quite possibly be this near-death experience, or this passing the test to get from one reality to the next, plain and simple. Because I can see what happened on Saturday. I can see that I was just like, okay, there's a little bit of a situation. And just looking at it like a little bit of a situation. Not being so angry, not letting this derail my day, because I don't know what's coming in the next day. I don't know what opportunities and options there are the next day if I keep my frequency high. So where are you allowing yourself to become triggered is what I'd like to ask you. There we go. Yeah, and then just like, then that song comes on. It's almost just like, you're done. You had a nice run. Now you're done, son. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all the councils. I'm going to take my microphone and my speaker box back now. They're done. They're complete. Everybody's happy. They're smiling. They're having a good time. So we do this every month on the 15th. If this is your first time here, if somebody, like a good little lover you sent out and shared out this broadcast, liking the video, doing all the things, ringing the bell to know when he goes live. There are new dailies every single day. There are new session types on galactictarot.com. Basically, 2 soul retrievals for 1. So if you and your partner, or you and a friend are looking to work on things together, this is a way to get much cheaper soul retrieval sessions, which your brother Alexander's never even put up a button for soul retrieval ever before, since the work has existed since 2016 in his life. There's never been a button. So we're in a new place where that's possible. So that's one of the first buttons on the site. This says it's to be done with lovers, which is what I'd prefer and who I'd prefer to be working with. But it is absolutely possible, because my work has blossomed to a new place for me to do 2 soul retrieval sessions at a time. And that's what you're looking at And that's what there is. Crystalcurrent.com. Only if you're looking for the most epic energy tools on the face of the planet. And to all the patrons, I love you so much. The patron is Galactic Tarot, same spelling as this channel. If you want to support the channel, book sessions, anyone who signs up at the 111 amount gets a monthly call with your brother where you're being held accountable, so to speak, and able to talk to me once a month, and we're able to co-create and manifest together. What else? Yeah, because I think I only have 3 openings for that, for the monthly work, and then all of a sudden it just blacks out. What else is there? That's it. You can hit buttons if you want. Support the channel. You're supporting this channel by just watching. But to those of you that are subscribed and like the videos, I love you a little bit more. I love you all. But those of you that do the things, support truth, support the ascension process. I love you. I'll see you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow for the daily, and at the very, very latest on the 1st of the month, probably sooner. Patrons, I'll see you tomorrow. Weekly broadcast. I love you. Cheers.